Chosen one, listen, this is not an accident. Heaven has interrupted your scroll for a reason. Every sound around you fades because the voice of the Almighty wants your attention. You have been in a battle, one you did not choose, one that seemed too heavy for your heart to bear. But tonight, heaven steps in. You've wondered why the warfare felt endless, why you've been attacked for no reason, why people you loved turned against you without cause. What you don't see is that the very moment hell planned to finish you, God raised his hand and said, "Enough. You are not abandoned. You are defended. The unseen has been raging." But what they didn't expect was this moment when divine power descends to silence every voice that spoke against your name. You are not losing. You are being lifted. Every strike, every lie, every whisper meant to destroy you is now reversing in your favor. Heaven's order is shifting, and you stand at the center of it. The Spirit whispers, "Be still," because when God steps in, human effort steps back. You've been trying to fight battles meant to be won by surrender. You've been exhausted, not because you're weak, but because you've been trying to play a role only heaven can fulfill. Chosen one, your deliverance does not depend on your strength. It depends on your obedience. Heaven is not late, it is strategic. While you were crying, angels were moving. While you were breaking, your crown was being forged in fire. The same tears that burned your face became the water that softened the soil for your next season. What the enemy used to drown you, God will use to cleanse you. You feel that pressure. It's not punishment, it's positioning. The fire you're in is not to destroy you. It's to make your faith indestructible. There are people who thought you were finished, that you wouldn't recover. But they are about to witness what happens when God himself steps into the ring. You don't fight alone, you fight surrounded by the armies of heaven. And hear this clearly, nothing that belongs to you will be stolen. The hands that reach to harm you will return empty. The words spoken to curse you will fall to the ground powerless. Heaven is rewriting your outcome even as you listen. Every false prophecy, every evil intention, every plan of sabotage, they collapse in the presence of divine intervention. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, the voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Do you feel that calm settling over you now? That is not coincidence, that is confirmation. God has entered your battle. You don't need to explain yourself anymore. You don't need to justify why you're still standing. The fact that you survived what was meant to destroy you is proof enough that heaven is on your side. Every chosen one has a moment where the atmosphere shifts, when pain turns into prophecy, when rejection turns into redirection, when what was broken begins to glow. That moment is now. You are walking out of the season of confusion and stepping into divine clarity. What once made no sense will soon reveal perfect purpose. They attacked because they sensed what was coming. They targeted you because of what you carry. Your anointing irritates the demonic. Your light exposes what others tried to hide. But you must not shrink back. You were not made to dim down to comfort darkness. You are heaven's instrument, a living declaration that the plans of the enemy will always fail in the presence of divine purpose. So lift your head, chosen one, wipe the dust off your crown, breathe in peace, because this chapter is no longer written by fear. It's written by fire, holy fire. And you are about to see with your own eyes what happens when the Creator decides, "No more harm shall touch my anointed." Let this moment mark a turning point. You've prayed for deliverance, and deliverance is already moving toward you. You've prayed for signs, and this message is your sign. Every delay was divine redirection. Every door that closed was heaven's protection. The same God who split the sea for Moses will make a way through your storm. Do not doubt again. Do not bow to fear. You have survived too much to quit now. When God steps in, their attack fails every single time. If you feel this message was meant for you, pause now and honor the presence that surrounds you. Like this message, share it with another warrior who needs to hear that heaven still fights for the faithful. And subscribe to remain under this covering of divine messages for the chosen. Now, as a prophetic act of alignment, comment the number 777 below to declare that completion, protection, and divine favor surround you right now. The hidden war around you. Chosen one, there are moments in your life when the air feels heavier, when silence seems louder and shadows feel closer. You've wondered why the atmosphere shifts without warning, why you sense unrest even when all seems calm. That unease is not madness, it is discernment. Heaven has trained your spirit to recognize unseen warfare. From the moment you were marked by God, the battle began. Not the kind fought with swords or armies, but the kind waged in silence, in spirit, in thought. Every attack you couldn't explain, every strange resistance that rose up against you, it was never random. You became a target not because of your weakness, but because of your divine potential. The unseen realm has long known what your earthly eyes are only beginning to grasp, that your destiny carries weight in heaven. When you were isolated, heaven was not punishing you. Heaven was positioning you. You were being pulled away from noise so that revelation could be whispered directly into your soul. The friends who walked away, the opportunities that dissolved, the peace that vanished. They were all signs that your spirit had entered the war zone. But even in that unseen fight, you were never alone. There are angels who have fought battles in the dark for your survival. You've gone to sleep and woken up unaware that legions stood guard over your bed. There were moments you should have been destroyed, but God's hand intercepted the attack. You were protected from what your eyes could not see, from what your heart could not handle. And though you didn't feel it, the heavens recorded every moment of mercy. Understand this truth: darkness is not offended by the ordinary. It only trembles when it senses authority. You carry that authority even when you doubt it. The warfare against you is confirmation that your anointing is real. If you were of no threat, the enemy would leave you in peace. But the fact that you have been pressed on every side means you hold something sacred inside that hell fears. You must learn to interpret pressure as prophecy. What feels like opposition is often a divine announcement that you are nearing breakthrough. The enemy does not waste energy on distractions that have no purpose. He only fights what frightens him. That's why certain seasons felt unbearable the closer you drew to purpose, the louder the storm became. But storms cannot stop what heaven has decreed. In this invisible war, your greatest weapon is not argument or strength, it is peace. Peace confuses the enemy. When you rest in trust, you declare that you are untouchable by fear. Heaven responds to stillness. That's why every time you choose calm over chaos, you wage silent war and win. You become the proof that light cannot be extinguished by darkness. Many will never understand this realm you walk in. They will call you strange, overly spiritual, too intense. But you see differently because you live differently. Your spirit hears frequencies others ignore. You are a sentinel, positioned between worlds, called to discern what others cannot. You are not crazy. You are chosen. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 20, verse 11. But the Lord is with me as a mighty warrior, so my persecutors will stumble and not prevail. That is the secret of your survival. The reason the traps didn't work, the reason betrayal didn't end you, is because the Lord stood beside you like a shield of fire. Every arrow shot against you has already been intercepted. Every curse uttered in darkness has been broken before it reached you. You walk under invisible armor, the armor of divine favor. So stop blaming yourself for what went wrong. Stop questioning your worth because of what was lost. You have not been losing, you have been learning. Every wound taught you discernment. Every disappointment sharpened your spirit. Every sleepless night birthed deeper intimacy with God. You have been forged in secret like a blade hidden in the blacksmith's fire. And when the time comes, you will strike through deception with the truth you carry. The war around you has always been about silencing your voice, about keeping you from stepping fully into your calling. But heaven did not choose you for silence, it chose you for sound. Your words carry weight in the spirit realm. When you pray, tremors shake through darkness. When you speak hope, light expands. You are not small. You are not forgotten. You are heaven's signal flare in the battlefield of this generation. Remember this, you were never meant to fight for victory. You fight from victory. The outcome was written long before the attack began. God's protection is not occasional, it is continual. So when you walk through confusion, when the air feels thick and your soul feels heavy, remind yourself the hidden war is proof of your visible calling. You do not need to see the battle to know it's being won. Heaven is still moving on your behalf, still surrounding you with walls of fire. What the enemy planned in secret, God is turning into strategy for your promotion. You are covered. Even now, you are surrounded, even when you feel alone. And though the war is hidden, your victory will be seen by all. Marked by heaven, hated by hell, chosen one. You must understand this truth, your existence shakes realms. The mark you carry is not a symbol of suffering, it is a seal of authority. Heaven recognized you before earth ever named you. And because of that mark, hell has taken notice. You are not being attacked because you are weak. You are being attacked because you are chosen. From the beginning, you have felt different. You've walked into rooms and felt resistance before a word was spoken. You've extended kindness only to receive coldness in return. You've tried to fit in but found yourself rejected again and again. It is not rejection, it is revelation. You are not meant to blend in. You are meant to stand out as proof that divine light cannot be disguised. When you were born, the spiritual realm shifted. Hell detected a signal, a frequency carrying heaven's blueprint for your life. Since that moment, the enemy has sought to distort your identity, to bury your purpose under pain, to convince you that you are ordinary. But even in confusion, heaven's seal on you remained unbroken. That's why, despite every failure, you rise. Despite every betrayal, you still love. Despite every loss, you still believe. That is divine resilience, something no demon can replicate or destroy. You've been misunderstood, not because you speak wrongly, but because your language is of a higher order. The world calls it overthinking, heaven calls it discernment. The world calls it sensitivity, heaven calls it awareness. You are tuned into frequencies that others cannot hear, and that sensitivity makes you a threat to darkness. People sense something different about you. They might not know what it is, but their spirit reacts. Some are drawn to your light. Others recoil from it. Don't be disheartened, it's the nature of spiritual polarity. Light always exposes what prefers to hide. You were born with that illumination, and no amount of rejection can dim it. You have been carrying heaven's fragrance, and hell hates the scent of destiny fulfilled. But remember this, the hatred of hell is confirmation of heaven's hand. You are not fighting for approval, you are walking in assignment. The enemy's greatest fear is not your failure, but your awakening. Because once you recognize who you are, his hold is broken forever. So, listen closely. Stop trying to convince people to understand your path. They were not in the room when heaven anointed you. They did not hear your name whispered in divine chambers. You owe no explanation for your light. You are not arrogant for walking in confidence. You are obedient for refusing to shrink. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 7. The Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before you. They shall come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. That is your promise. That is your inheritance. Every coordinated attack will scatter. Every hidden plan will unravel. You are divinely insured against destruction. The more the enemy rises, the more heaven elevates you. You are untouchable not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. Understand this: being marked means you will be misunderstood. The world may not see your worth yet, but heaven has already crowned you. You are not waiting for validation. You are walking in revelation. Every closed door is divine redirection. Every delay hides a lesson. Every no spoken over your life becomes a not yet in heaven's language. You are a walking contradiction to the expectations of your enemies. You fall but rise stronger. You are wounded but still worship. You are tired but still glowing with faith. They cannot comprehend how you survive. It's because heaven sustains what it selects. There are times when you will feel the heat of warfare intensify. Do not panic, it means breakthrough is near. The closer you get to purpose, the louder the resistance becomes. But let this truth echo inside your spirit: the war against you is proof of the weight you carry. Heaven trusts you with conflict because you can handle victory. And though the journey feels lonely, you are not walking unguarded. Every step you take is trailed by angels who respond to the sound of your faith. When you pray, heaven leans closer. When you cry, your tears become ink in the book of remembrance. When you worship, even in the middle of pain, your song becomes a weapon that terrifies the enemy. So hold your head high. Chosen one. The attacks against you are nothing more than confirmation letters stamped by heaven's seal. You are a marked vessel of light, and no darkness can unmark what God has sanctified. Now, let your spirit respond in agreement. Comment, "I am chosen." Do it not as a gesture of emotion, but as a prophetic declaration. Every time you type those words, you declare that your mark is permanent, that your purpose stands, and that every opposing force must bow to divine authority. Let those 3 words echo beyond your screen, rising like incense into the courts of heaven, reminding the unseen that you belong to God alone. The trap that turned into triumph. Chosen one. There were moments when you thought it was over. You looked at what was happening around you, the betrayal, the loss, the disappointment, and believed the enemy had finally succeeded. You felt trapped, cornered, surrounded by lies, by circumstances too tangled to escape. But what you could not see was the unseen hand of God rearranging every detail, converting every pit into a platform. The enemy built a snare, but heaven turned it into strategy. Every time you were pushed into a place of despair, God was quietly crafting your deliverance within it. You were never the victim of circumstance, you were the vessel of transformation. Your pain was not punishment, it was preparation. Every closed door, every sudden ending, every harsh word spoken over you became raw material for your victory. There is something sacred about being cornered. When your options vanish, your dependency shifts from human strength to divine sovereignty. The very moment you felt weakest was when heaven was strongest. You did not realize it, but in your tears, you were standing on holy ground. God was teaching you to see with new eyes, to recognize His fingerprints in what others called failure. The people who plotted your fall only pushed you closer to your destiny. They dug a hole for your burial but unknowingly built the foundation for your breakthrough. The moment they thought they had silenced you, heaven amplified your name. You must understand divine justice does not always roar in public. Often, it whispers through timing. God does not always remove the trap. He transforms it. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. In the book of Psalms, chapter 124, verse 7. Our soul has escaped like a bird from the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken, and we have escaped. That is your story. Chosen one. You escaped not because you were clever, but because you were covered. There were traps set in conversations you never heard. Plans drawn up behind closed doors. Weapons formed in secret and yet none prospered. You may have walked through the shadow of defeat, but your spirit never bowed to despair. You were not meant to die in the place where they left you. That betrayal you thought would break you was heaven's invitation to ascend. Sometimes, God allows the enemy to build a stage just so he can display his glory upon it. What was meant to humiliate you became the exact platform for your elevation. Your testimony is being written from the ruins of what was meant to destroy you. Look back for a moment not with bitterness, but with gratitude. Can you see how every disaster had divine fingerprints? The friends who walked away made space for the right ones. The opportunity that fell apart redirected you to something higher. The heartbreak that shattered your heart softened it for compassion. You were being rebuilt while you thought you were breaking. Nothing you've lost was wasted. Nothing you've endured has gone unseen. Heaven recycles pain into purpose. What others used to mock you will soon be what God uses to promote you. You are walking proof that divine sovereignty turns traps into testimonies. Remember Joseph thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, imprisoned without cause, yet through it all, every injustice carried him closer to his purpose. The same principle works in your life. The pit is not your grave, it is your gateway. Every dark chapter is a prelude to revelation. Do not curse the seasons that confined you. They protected you. While you were hidden, heaven was rewriting your story. Every no preserved you for a better yes. Every closed path redirected your steps to divine alignment. Even your tears watered the soil where miracles now begin to grow. What was once meant for your harm has been drafted into heaven's plan for your promotion. You are no longer standing in a trap, you are standing on top of it. The chains that once bound you have become the trophies of your endurance. Chosen one, walk boldly. You carry the evidence of survival. You carry the fragrance of victory. And every time the enemy remembers the trap he built for you, he will also remember how easily heaven turned it into triumph. You are proof that God wastes nothing. You are the embodiment of his promise that all things, yes, even the painful ones, work together for good. Let peace rise in your heart now. The snare is broken. You have escaped. Faith that frightens the enemy. Chosen one. Have you noticed how your faith unsettles the atmosphere? There is something about your belief, quiet yet unbreakable, that terrifies darkness. The enemy cannot comprehend how you still lift your head after so much loss, how you still speak hope while walking through fire. Your faith is a weapon sharper than any blade forged in the spirit realm. It shakes foundations not by noise, but by endurance. Faith is not loud. It's steady. It doesn't always roar, it sometimes whispers through trembling lips. I still trust you. That whisper carries the sound of victory. Every time you choose to believe instead of break. heaven moves. Every time you choose hope over bitterness, light pierces another layer of darkness. Your faith has been your survival code, an invisible shield even when you felt naked before battle. Do you remember those nights when fear pressed against your chest and you could barely breathe? You whispered prayers that felt too small to reach the sky. Yet even those fragile words became fire in the unseen. Heaven does not measure faith by volume but by endurance. When you kept standing, when you refused to give up, when you believed though nothing made sense, that was warfare, and hell trembled because of it. You have faced storms that would have destroyed others, yet you remained. Not because of luck, but because of faith. Your trust in God built an invisible fortress around you. Every time you said, "I still believe," you raised walls the enemy could not scale. As the apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians in the second book of Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 7, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." That is the path you walk, faith, not sight. You've walked blindfolded through valleys of confusion, guided only by a voice that whispered, "Keep going." You didn't see the outcome, but you trusted the direction. That trust frightened the enemy because it meant he could no longer control you with fear. Understand, this faith is not ignoring reality, it's inviting God into it. It's saying, "Even here, I believe you can work." When you lift your eyes toward heaven, it is as if you light a torch in a dark field. The darkness does not vanish instantly, but it retreats one trembling shadow at a time. Chosen one, your faith is not small. It is strong enough to move mountains, patient enough to endure valleys, and radiant enough to turn ashes into testimony. That is why the attacks have been so intense, because the enemy knows that a believer who refuses to quit becomes unstoppable. Your faith frightens him because it grows under pressure. The more he strikes, the deeper your roots go. Like a tree that bends but does not break. You have learned the art of survival. The winds may roar, but your foundation remains anchored in divine promise. You are rooted in eternity, not in circumstance. There will be days when doubt knocks again. That's when you must remember faith is not the absence of fear, but the refusal to let fear win. Your faith does not deny the storm, it declares that the storm is temporary. Faith sees the sunrise while the night still lingers. Now, chosen one, as this message reaches your spirit, let it also reach your hands. Just as faith breathes life into the unseen, your small act of support breathes life into messages like this one. When you like this message, it is more than a click, it is an echo of agreement that says, "Yes, this word speaks to me." When you share it, you are scattering seeds of hope into the soil of someone else's despair. And if your heart feels led, when you subscribe or donate, you are not just supporting a voice, you are building an altar of light in a world that desperately needs it. Every offering, whether a word, a prayer, or a gift, is like pouring oil into a lamp that refuses to go out. Your generosity keeps the flame alive, spreading warmth to countless hearts who sit in silence, waiting for a reminder that God still speaks. Think of it this way: faith is a bridge. Some walk across it trembling, others crawl. But every stone in that bridge is laid by those who believe together. When you give, when you engage, when you stand with this message, you help strengthen the bridge for those still afraid to cross. So today, hold your faith close. It is your sword, your shield, and your crown. Let your actions reflect that faith, not only in your prayers, but in your generosity and compassion. You have been called not just to survive, but to serve as a light for others still trapped in fear. Your faith has already frightened the enemy. Now let it inspire the world. Delay was divine protection. Chosen one. There were seasons when time itself felt cruel. You watched others rise while you remained still. You prayed, waited, obeyed, and yet the promise seemed to hide behind clouds that refused to move. You wondered, did I miss my moment? Did heaven forget my name? But what felt like delay was never denial. It was divine protection in disguise. God did not make you wait to punish you, He made you wait to prepare you. What you thought was wasted time was sacred training. Heaven was building something within you that could not be rushed. There are blessings that must arrive on solid foundation, not emotional ground. Every delay protected you from counterfeit doors and premature crowns. You see, some battles are avoided not by winning them, but by never walking into them. There were people you prayed for that heaven silently removed. There were opportunities that seemed perfect but hid unseen traps. You wept over what didn't happen, but those tears were heaven's way of washing away what was never meant for you. The delay was your divine detour, one that spared you from devastation. You must learn this truth: God's not yet is often His not this way. When He holds you back, it's because something ahead is not safe for your spirit. The pause is a shield, not a punishment. You were not being overlooked. You were being observed. Heaven was waiting for the version of you that could carry the blessing without breaking under it. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 22. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. That is the rhythm of divine timing. Heaven never rushes, never hesitates. When the appointed hour arrives, everything aligns with a precision no human could design. Doors that resisted you will open without knocking. Opportunities that once ignored you will call your name. And those who doubted your journey will bear witness to how God unfolds what He promises in His perfect moment. Think of the seed buried in darkness. It waits in silence, unseen, enduring pressure beneath the soil. But that silence is not stagnation. It is gestation. The seed cannot sprout before the season turns, and neither can destiny bloom before your spirit matures. Every quiet season was heaven's way of deepening your roots. Without that hidden time, your future growth would not survive the storms ahead. Chosen one. The delay was never a denial, it was divine choreography. God has been arranging your steps in ways you could not perceive. What looked like stagnation was synchronization. He was aligning hearts, preparing places, softening paths. You were never behind schedule. You were exactly where grace needed you to be. You must stop comparing your timeline to others. What grows quickly often fades quickly, but what grows slowly becomes unshakable. You are being crafted for longevity, not for attention. Heaven invests deeply in those it sends far. That's why your journey has taken longer, because your assignment carries greater weight. So breathe, rest, stop forcing what is not yet ready. The blessing attached to your name cannot be given to another. It's been reserved for your appointed time. And when that time comes, there will be no struggle, no striving. What you chased will begin to chase you. What you lost will find its way home. You will look back and thank God for every no, for every door that stayed shut, for every person who left, for every unanswered prayer. Because the truth will become clear, heaven's silence was your safety. You were delayed to be delivered from disaster. Let peace settle in your spirit now. You have not failed. You have not missed it. You are in process, divine, holy, deliberate process. Every second of waiting has meaning written into it. The hands of God have never stopped shaping your story. So let this moment be a seal of surrender. Stop fighting the timing. Start trusting the wisdom. The longer the preparation, the greater the manifestation. The promise is not gone, it's growing. You are not waiting alone. Heaven waits with you, ensuring that when your name is called, you are fully ready to walk through the door without fear. Now, as an act of agreement with divine timing, comment the number 555 below. That number symbolizes grace upon grace, divine change, and heavenly alignment. When you type it, let it be more than digits. Let it be a declaration that you trust God's schedule over your own. It means you are done striving, done doubting, done fearing delays. You are not late. Chosen one, you are right on time. And soon, you will see what every moment of waiting was preparing you for. The silence before the shift, chosen one. Do you remember those nights when heaven went quiet, when your prayers echoed back unanswered, and your faith felt like it was hanging by a thread? You searched for a sign, a whisper, anything, but all you found was silence. That silence was not abandonment, it was construction. Heaven does its greatest work in quiet rooms. The moments when you felt forgotten were the moments God was closest. But his closeness does not always arrive with thunder. Sometimes it comes as stillness. When the noise stops, it's because heaven is rearranging things behind the curtain. Divine shifts happen in sacred silence when you least expect it, when you are tired of trying, when you finally surrender control. Silence is not empty. It is full of purpose. It is the pause between promise and fulfillment. Every symphony needs rest between its notes to create harmony. Likewise, God's pauses are not the absence of sound, but the setting of rhythm. What you interpret as divine delay is often heaven catching its breath before revealing glory. When everything goes still, it means the atmosphere is recalibrating. Heaven is drawing new coordinates for your destiny. Every unanswered prayer is being measured for perfect timing. The silence is heaven's editing room, where all unnecessary voices are cut away so that only truth remains. You may not have realized it, but the quiet season saved you. It refined your hearing. When the world stopped speaking, you began to discern God's voice not through sound, but through peace. The silence trained your spirit to recognize his presence even when words were absent. You learned to sense movement in stillness, guidance in uncertainty, and comfort in solitude. It was in that hush that God separated you from distractions. He removed noise disguised as friendship, opportunities disguised as destiny, comfort disguised as purpose. He was not withholding, he was simplifying. Because when the shift comes, you must be light enough to move with it, according to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 21. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. That truth anchors the silence. You had plans, dreams, and deadlines, but heaven's purpose overrules them all. You thought life had paused, but it was being redirected. Sometimes, God slows your pace so he can accelerate your destiny later. The silence was not stagnation, it was synchronization. Think of a seed deep underground. For months, it rests in the dark, no sound, no movement, no proof of progress. But beneath the surface, life is erupting invisibly. Roots grow downward before the stem rises upward. Likewise, God was growing your foundation while you saw nothing. You mistook hidden development for divine neglect. But the truth is, heaven was strengthening your roots to sustain your future height. There is a spiritual law at work in every quiet season. What heaven conceals temporarily, it reveals permanently. God's silence precedes his greatest moves. Before resurrection, there was a tomb. Before the dawn, there was darkness. Before the answer, there was stillness. Chosen one, The silence you endured has positioned you for the shift that is now near. Heaven does not whisper forever. When the time comes, the sound will return, but this time, it will not be the echo of your prayer. It will be the roar of fulfillment. The doors that stayed closed will creak open with divine timing. The opportunities that ignored you will suddenly remember your name. The voices that doubted you will have no choice but to acknowledge what heaven has done. But do not despise the silence even as the shift begins. It was there that you learned resilience. It was there that you met yourself, the version of you that does not panic, that does not chase, that does not crumble. That version is the one God will use in this next season. When the shift comes, it will not be noisy. It will be subtle, seamless, and sacred. You will wake one morning and realize the atmosphere has changed. The heaviness will lift. The confusion will fade. The opportunities that once resisted you will align as if they were always meant to. That is the beauty of divine timing. It feels sudden, but it was built in silence. So hold your peace, chosen one. Do not rush to fill the quiet with noise. Sit within it. Breathe within it. Trust within it. For when heaven falls silent, it is never because God has stopped working, it is because He is almost done. Your tears were testimony in training. Chosen one, heaven saw every tear you cried. Not one of them fell unnoticed. What you considered weakness was sacred to God. Each drop was liquid prayer, falling to the ground as evidence that you endured what others could not. Your tears did not disqualify you, they purified you. They were the ink with which your testimony was written. There are seasons when the strongest warriors are the ones who weep in silence. You know what that feels like. The nights when your pillow became an altar, the moments when words failed, and all you could do was exhale pain. Heaven heard even that sigh. You thought you were breaking, but in truth you were being remade. The crushing did not destroy you, it released fragrance. God has a strange way of training His chosen ones. He allows them to walk through storms that others never face, not to punish them, but to forge them. The tears you cried in private became the water that softened your heart for ministry. Compassion is born from suffering. Empathy is learned through loss. You cannot heal what you do not understand, and you cannot understand what you have not endured. The hardships you faced were classrooms in disguise. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every heartbreak taught you patience. Every disappointment refined your dependence on God. What looked like defeat was heaven's curriculum for destiny. You were being equipped with invisible tools, wisdom, endurance, and spiritual authority. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, in the book of Habakkuk, Chapter 3, verse 19, "The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to tread on the heights." That scripture is not just poetry, it is prophecy over your life. You were being trained to walk where others stumble. The terrain of your calling is steep, and only those who have cried in the valley can climb with grace. Every tear built spiritual muscle. Every trial gave you altitude. You are not fragile. You are forged. Consider how gold is purified. It must pass through intense heat until every impurity rises to the surface. Likewise, your pain was the fire that revealed your purity. God did not let you burn, He let you shine. The tears were necessary. They removed the residue of old seasons, cleansing your soul for the glory that now approaches. Do you remember how often you asked, "Why me?" The answer was never silence, it was strategy. God chose you because you could carry it. You have been entrusted with experiences that make your faith unshakable. The very things that wounded you have become your credentials in the spirit realm. You can now speak life into others, not from theory, but from testimony. You learned to stand even when your knees shook. You learned to praise when your voice trembled. You learned that faith does not mean avoiding pain, it means trusting through it. And that trust has become your power. The world will one day see your light and call it glory, but heaven will remember the tears that built it. The beauty people admire is born from your brokenness. Like rain that nourishes unseen roots, your tears have produced fruit that will feed generations. You are not who you were before the storm. Something sacred happened in the breaking. You discovered the unbreakable within you. Your tears became oil, your sorrow became strength, and your wounds became windows where light now shines through. Chosen one. Look at yourself now not with pity, but with awe. You survived what once threatened to silence you. You carry quiet authority because you have walked through noise and come out whole. Others will wonder how you remain gentle after so much pain. It's because love grew in the soil of your suffering. God trusted you with pain because He could trust you with healing. You have been refined for influence, not applause. The ones who are drawn to your story will find solace because you lived what they fear. You became the evidence that tears do not drown the chosen, they baptize them into purpose. So no longer resent the season of weeping. Those tears have value beyond words. They were the currency that purchased your spiritual depth. Heaven records everyone, and the same hand that caught them is now writing your next chapter, one of restoration, not ruin. You may still feel the ache of what was lost, but that ache is proof that your heart still beats with purpose. You did not die in despair. You were reborn in it. You were trained through trial, and your tears are now testimony. When others see your glow, they will not realize it is made of rain. You carry fire, not fear, chosen one. There is a radiance inside you that darkness cannot comprehend. You walk through storms that would drown others, yet somehow the waves part around you. You have not survived by luck, you have survived by fire. There is holy fire burning within you, and that is why fear cannot stay. The same light that guides you terrifies the shadows that follow you. Fear once whispered that you were fragile. It told you that your mistakes defined you, that your past disqualified you, that your calling was too heavy for your hands. But fear lies, and you have already proven it wrong. Every step you take in faith strikes a blow against the enemy's illusions. You do not carry fragility, you carry flame. That fire was not lit by men. It was placed in you by God before your first breath. It is eternal, indestructible, and divine. No failure can extinguish it. No betrayal can dim it. No circumstance can smother it. You may feel weary, but even in exhaustion, your spirit glows with a quiet defiance against despair. Remember the times when you felt paralyzed by fear, when you were certain you couldn't go on. Those were the moments heaven leaned closer and whispered courage into your bones. You stood back up not because you found strength on your own, but because divine fire reignited your resolve. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." That is your identity. You are light. You are the lamp burning in the storm, the spark that refuses to die. You do not just survive darkness, you disturb it. Every time you speak truth, darkness trembles. Every time you choose forgiveness, chains break. Every time you stand your ground, angels draw near. Do not underestimate the fire you carry. It is not visible to all, but it is felt in the spirit. That is why certain rooms feel tense when you enter, why people react to you without reason. They sense the flame but do not understand it. Some will resist it because it exposes what hides in them. Do not take it personally. It is proof that your presence is powerful. Fear will still try to approach. It will disguise itself as caution, logic, even humility. But its goal remains the same: to silence your flame. Do not let it. When fear says you are alone, remember the fire inside you is proof of heaven's company. When fear says you are too late, know that the fire burns on eternal time. When fear says you are unworthy, remember the fire only dwells in the purified. You have walked through enough nights to know that fear's power ends where faith begins. The moment you speak life, fear loses grip. The moment you worship instead of worry, you become untouchable. Because light cannot fear the dark, it only transforms it. Chosen one, you are being called to burn brighter now. There are hearts trapped in cold spaces that need the warmth of your testimony. You have seen too much to stay silent. Your story is not shame, it is spark. Every time you share what God has done, embers fly from your soul and ignite hope in others. That is how revival spreads one lighted life at a time. Do not be afraid of being too intense, too passionate, too alive. You were never meant to blend into gray skies. You were made to blaze against them. Your flame was never meant to be hidden under comfort or approval. It was meant to set atmospheres ablaze with truth and love. You are the carrier of divine combustion. Where you walk, transformation follows. Where you speak, healing begins. Your faith is not passive, it is active fire alive. Dangerous to darkness, unstoppable. Look back at your story for a moment. Every season that tried to extinguish you only fed your flame. The betrayals, the heartbreaks, the losses, they became fuel. The more you were broken, the more oxygen reached the core of your spirit, and the brighter you burned. What was meant to kill you has become your firewood. Now take a deep breath. Feel that warmth inside that is not adrenaline, that is your calling. You are not surviving by chance. You are burning by design. And as an act of faith, comment "Keep me burning." Type it as a declaration, not a request. It means, I will not let my fire go out. It means you choose passion over paralysis, courage over comfort, purpose over fear. It is the statement that hell dreads, the vow of a believer who refuses to dim down. When you declare it, imagine the unseen realm trembling, because it recognizes that another torchbearer has awakened. Let your fire speak. Chosen one, you are light in motion, and no darkness will ever overcome you. Heaven's defense surrounds you, chosen one. There are moments in your life when danger passed right by you, and you never even knew. Times when your car should have collided, but it didn't. Moments when your body should have failed, but it stayed strong. Nights when fear surrounded you, but somehow peace still covered you. That was not luck. That was not coincidence. That was heaven's defense in motion, angels assigned to your name, moving faster than sight, shielding you from what could have destroyed you. There are forces working for you that you cannot see. You are protected by layers of grace, invisible but unbreakable. Every day, while you wake and work and wonder, heaven stands guard around you like a fortress of light. You are not defenseless. You are divinely defended. Many people think protection means the absence of problems. But divine defense is not the removal of conflict, it is the assurance of survival. God does not always stop the storm. Sometimes He surrounds you within it so that not a drop can drown your purpose. You walk in the middle of chaos, and yet you emerge calm. That calm is not human, it's heavenly. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 20. See, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and to bring you to my place. That verse reveals your reality. You are never walking alone. An unseen escort travels ahead of you, clearing the traps before your feet reach them. What you call coincidence is often the echo of an angel's intervention. You didn't just survive. You were escorted through danger with divine precision. Imagine your life as a traveler crossing a desert. The sun burns, the ground cracks, and serpents lurk beneath the sand. Yet somehow, a cloud follows you by day and fire by night. It's not comfort, it's covenant. Heaven moves with you. The terrain may change, but your covering does not. Even when people plotted against you, they found their own plans turning back on them. What they whispered in secret became the reason you were promoted. What they cursed became the soil of your blessing. Divine defense is not always visible. It often disguises itself as delay, confusion, or redirection. But every shift, every pause, every unexpected turn was God steering you away from destruction. You are a walking testimony of preservation. Think of how many times you nearly broke but didn't. How many times you said, "I can't take one more thing," and yet you did. That's heaven's defense. Not always loud, not always obvious, but constant. You live surrounded by grace. Chosen one. Protection is not a fragile thing. It is an unbreakable covenant sealed by the blood of Christ. When you walk, you are covered. When you sleep, you are guarded. When you speak, heaven amplifies your words in the spirit realm. You are not ordinary. You are armored. And that armor is not made of metal, it's made of mercy. Sometimes, the reason certain people left your life is because heaven saw danger you couldn't. The betrayal that felt cruel was actually a divine evacuation. You thought you were being rejected, but you were being rescued. God's defense is often misunderstood because it doesn't always look like favor, it sometimes looks like loss. But one day you'll look back and see that every subtraction was protection in disguise. And now, in this very moment, heaven's defense still surrounds you. Every threat against your destiny is intercepted. Every curse spoken against your name is silenced. Every scheme designed to delay your rise dissolves under the heat of divine fire. You are walking beneath a shield no power can penetrate. Chosen one, if these words touch your heart, let them also awaken gratitude. When you like this message, it's not just engagement, it's acknowledgement. It's saying, "I see what heaven has done for me." When you share this word, you become a messenger of protection to someone who might feel defenseless tonight. You extend the same covering that has carried you. When you subscribe, it's not to a voice, it's to a vision. It's joining a circle of warriors who choose faith over fear, hope over despair, fire over silence. And if your spirit feels stirred to donate, know this: your giving is not payment, it's participation. Every offering becomes oil that keeps the light burning, ensuring that more hearts can be reached. More lives reminded that they are not alone. Picture it like this: every act of support is a brick in a wall of refuge. Together, we are building a fortress of faith in the digital wilderness, where tired souls can rest and hear truth. Your kindness fuels the message. Your generosity builds the shelter. Do not underestimate how far your light travels. A simple gesture, one click, one share, one gift can become the spark that turns despair into faith for someone miles away. Just as heaven's defense surrounds you, you are now invited to become part of that defense for others. You are protected, chosen one, guarded not by chance but by covenant. Your life is not exposed, it is encased in divine design. So walk boldly through today, knowing that nothing formed against you will prosper. The same God who sends angels before you has already written your victory. You are surrounded. You are safe. You are seen. When accusations collapse, chosen one of the heaviest weights a soul can carry is the sting of false accusation. To be misunderstood, misrepresented, or slandered for things you never did. This is a unique kind of pain. It cuts deeper than a wound to the flesh because it strikes at your integrity, the very essence of who you are. But take comfort in this truth: what is whispered in darkness will always be exposed by light. And when God steps in, every accusation collapses under the weight of truth. There were seasons when you stood silent while your name was dragged through mud. You could have fought back. You could have defended yourself. But something in your spirit told you to stay still. Heaven was saying, "Let me handle this." You may have looked weak in that silence, but in reality, you were powerful, because restraint is not defeat. It is trust. And heaven rewards the one who chooses peace over vindication. There are battles you win not by shouting, but by standing. When you refuse to lower your voice to the level of your accusers, heaven amplifies it in places they cannot reach. Every lie spoken against you becomes fertilizer for the truth that will soon bloom around your name. God does not forget. He is meticulous with justice, and He always arrives on time. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is from me, declares the Lord." That verse is not poetic comfort, it is divine law. When the Almighty declares your vindication, no tongue can contradict Him. Your name carries heaven's endorsement, and that is worth more than human approval. Even when people judge by sight, God judges by spirit. He saw the truth when others chose the rumor. He heard your prayers when others believed the lie. The enemy has always used accusation as a weapon, from Eden to Calvary. His strategy has been the same: distort truth, divide hearts, destroy confidence. But he has forgotten that the same God who allowed the accusation also commands the verdict. And when heaven speaks, the case is closed. Chosen one, your silence was not wasted. It built credibility in the courts of heaven. While you endured humiliation, you were being elevated spiritually. Every moment you resisted retaliation added another layer of strength to your soul. You were learning to let God be your advocate. The accusers thought you were defenseless. They did not see the legions standing behind you. Vindication often comes slowly, not because God delays, but because He lets the truth mature in time. When it finally unfolds, it carries undeniable evidence. The same mouths that cursed you will one day confess they were wrong. The same eyes that looked away will be forced to witness your restoration. Divine justice does not humiliate, it educates. It teaches those who hurt you that truth cannot die, and those who doubted you that silence is not absence. There will come a day when the accusations crumble like dry leaves underfoot. The rumors will fade, the whispers will grow quiet, and your peace will speak louder than any defense ever could. People will look for the scandal and find only grace. They will search for the damage and see only strength. That is how heaven restores. It does not simply repair, it redeems. Even now, God is working on your behalf. Conversations are being redirected. Hearts are being convicted. Lies are being dismantled one by one. The same words once used to wound you will become testimonies of your endurance. You will not need to seek revenge. Justice will find you. Consider the refining process you've endured. While others were busy talking, you were being transformed. You learned humility in the face of hostility. You learned peace amid provocation. You learned how to stand still and trust that truth, though delayed, always rises. That growth is worth more than immediate vindication, because what God is building in you will last long after the gossip fades. Chosen one, lift your head. Your name is safe in the hands of the one who gave it meaning. You do not need to fear falsehood. You only need to stay faithful. Every accusation has an expiration date. The words meant to chain you are already dissolving in the fire of divine judgment. What remains is pure gold, your true identity, untouched, unshaken, unashamed. Soon, the same people who spoke against you will see the fruit of your endurance. Some will be humbled, others will be healed, because the way you handled persecution revealed something divine. You became a mirror of mercy, a living parable of grace under fire. Do not waste your energy seeking closure from people who never understood your calling. You are accountable to heaven, not to human opinion. Let your peace be your proof. Let your integrity be your weapon. The truth does not need defenders, it simply needs time. And when the dust settles, when the noise fades, when the light of God shines fully upon your path, the world will realize what heaven knew all along, that you were never guilty, never disqualified, never forgotten. You were chosen for endurance, crowned through injustice, and preserved for such a time as this. The accusations are collapsing even now. Stand tall, chosen one. Justice is unfolding in your favor. The tables turn overnight. Chosen one, you have walked through long seasons that seemed to stretch endlessly. You waited while others moved ahead. You prayed while others prospered. You obeyed. Yet it seemed heaven was silent. But divine reversals rarely give warnings, they come suddenly, quietly, completely. The shift that you thought would take years can happen in a single dawn. God does not need time to vindicate. He only needs permission. And when He says now, the tables turn overnight. Every delay, every disappointment, every detour was only setting the scene for this divine reversal. You have been walking through preparation disguised as hardship. What felt like loss was positioning. What seemed like endings were simply rearrangements of destiny. You are about to witness how God writes symmetry into suffering, how He turns the very weight of your past pain into the foundation of your new beginning. Heaven's reversals are never partial, they are complete. The same mouths that doubted you will declare your blessing. The same spaces that rejected you will call for your return. The same tears that once blurred your vision will now water the harvest you prayed for. God is not just changing your situation. He is changing your atmosphere. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." That morning is not far off, it is forming. Even now, heaven is rearranging what seemed impossible. You will wake one day to find that the season of sorrow has expired. The favor that once seemed withheld will overflow without restraint. Divine justice always arrives disguised as delay, and when it comes, it multiplies what was stolen. Do you remember Joseph, sold, betrayed, imprisoned, forgotten? Yet in a single day, he was summoned from the dungeon to the throne. Overnight, the prisoner became the prince. That is the pattern of God's turnaround, swift, undeniable, unstoppable. When your name is called, there will be no debate, no delay, no denial. The same system that held you down will be commanded to lift you up. Chosen one. This turnaround will not just restore what was lost, it will exceed it. God never gives back the same measure, He multiplies. The relationships you lost will be replaced by connections rooted in purpose. The income that vanished will return as abundance. The peace that was shattered will be restored as unshakable joy. You are stepping into a season of divine compensation. But there is a sacred mystery here. Sometimes the table must be emptied before it can be reset. That's why certain things had to be removed. Certain people had to leave. Certain doors had to close. Heaven was clearing the table not to punish you, but to prepare space for better portions. The feast of fulfillment requires emptiness first. Your story has carried weight. not because of what happened to you, but because of how you responded. You did not let bitterness rule you. You stayed faithful when it would have been easier to quit. You prayed even when your heart felt hollow. Those small acts of endurance have built an altar that heaven will now honor. The tables are turning not because of effort, but because of obedience. You stood your ground. You kept your integrity, and heaven took note. Now acceleration begin. The favor that felt withheld is about to chase you down. The doors that refused to open will unlock on their own. The promises you once whispered will now shout in fulfillment. When divine reversal comes, it carries no struggle. What once demanded effort now flows with ease. People will ask, "How did this happen so quickly?" And your only answer will be, "Grace." Because the same God who tested you in silence is now rewarding you in sight. Chosen one, the night does not last forever. The morning is not just a metaphor, it is a manifestation. You are moving from labor to laughter, from warfare to worship, from waiting to walking in what was promised. Heaven has turned its page, and your name is written in bold on this next chapter. So prepare. Clean your heart, steady your hands, and open your eyes. The very ground beneath your feet is shifting in your favor. Where there was confusion, clarity will rise. Where there was delay, divine timing will manifest. Where there was shame, honor will dwell. The same stage that once humiliated you will soon host your elevation. And as a prophetic act of agreement, comment the number 888 below. That number symbolizes new beginnings, infinite favor, and divine renewal. When you type it, let it not be superstition but declaration. It means you are ready for the shift, aligned with heaven's rhythm, and surrendered to divine order. It says, "I am prepared for my morning." Let your spirit say it louder than your words. The tables are turning. You have wept enough, waited enough, doubted enough. Now the story changes. The hand that held you in obscurity is releasing you into visibility. The same God who saw you in the shadows is now displaying you in the light. Your weeping season was never wasted. It watered the soil of joy that now blooms at dawn. Chosen one, this is your turning point. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and watch how quickly everything shifts. The night was long, but the morning is here. Revenge belongs to the Lord, chosen one. There is a reason your spirit never found peace in revenge. Though the flesh desired it, heaven restrained your hands. You could have retaliated. You could have spoken back, exposed lies, or matched energy with energy. Yet something holy inside whispered, "Don't." That whisper was not weakness, it was wisdom. The anointed do not avenge themselves, they wait for divine justice to unfold. You have endured betrayal that burned, words that pierced, actions that humiliated. You have watched people twist your kindness into accusation and your silence into guilt. It is human to want them to feel what they made you feel. But heaven does not balance pain with pain, it transforms it into power. God never wastes the hurt of his chosen ones. He converts it into higher purpose. You may not see it yet, but every injustice has already been recorded in heaven's ledger. Every wound, every word, every manipulation sits under divine review. You do not need to seek revenge because heaven already issued a verdict. "Vengeance is mine," says the Lord, and when heaven declares that, retribution becomes restoration. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 44. "But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." Those words sound impossible until you understand the truth behind them. Love is not approval, it is release. When you pray for those who wronged you, you're not excusing their behavior, you're freeing your soul from its grip. Unforgiveness chains you to the very pain you want to escape, but prayer loosens the link. It says, I choose peace over poison. Chosen one, there is nothing more powerful than a believer who refuses bitterness. Darkness feeds on resentment. The enemy thrives when you rehearse the hurt, but when you forgive, you starve him. Forgiveness is not forgetting, it is choosing not to relive. It means saying, you cannot keep renting space in my heart when God has plans for it. It may seem unfair that the people who hurt you continue smiling, unbothered, even blessed. But remember, heaven's justice does not always look like human revenge. God does not merely punish, he reveals. Time will expose what truth has already known. The day will come when the masks fall, when the proud are humbled, and when what was hidden comes into light. That is not your doing, it is divine timing. Until that day, keep your hands clean and your heart light. When you focus on revenge, you hand your energy to your enemy. But when you surrender it to God, you step aside and let the Almighty handle it. His way swiftly, surgically, and completely. Divine vengeance leaves no collateral damage. It restores balance without staining your conscience. Look at David, hunted by Saul. He had the chance to strike back but didn't. Instead, he said, I will not touch the Lord's anointed. That restraint became the reason God exalted him to the throne. The same pattern follows you. Every time you resisted retaliation, you were writing the prelude to your promotion. Heaven promotes those who choose peace over payback. Understand, this vengeance is not about destruction, it's about demonstration. When God avenges, he doesn't simply remove your enemies, he reveals himself through your endurance. He shows the world that light does not need to fight with darkness to win. It simply shines until the darkness flees. Some of the people who hurt you will return, not to apologize, but to witness the fruit of what you became. They will see that their cruelty could not corrupt your character. They will see you prosper in places they tried to block. And though your heart might ache to remind them of the past, you won't need to. Your peace will preach louder than your pain ever did. Chosen one. Stop rehearsing the offense. Every time you revisit it, you reopen the wound. Let the scar remain, but let the pain fade. Scars are not signs of defeat, they are symbols of healing. They say, I've been through fire, and I am still here. You do not need closure from people who were never meant to understand your calling. Closure will come when you stop giving energy to what no longer deserves your focus. You were never called to fight in the mud. You were chosen to stand on the mountain. Let God fight in the valley. He is better at battles that require perfect justice. Your role is to rise, to stay radiant, humble, and free. The more you ascend, the less their words can reach you. In time, the balance will shift. The same mouths that cursed you will bless you. The same hands that hurt you may one day seek help from you. And when that happens, may you have enough grace to say, peace be with you. Because forgiveness is not a gift to them, it is freedom for you. So let heaven handle the vengeance. You are not losing by releasing. You are winning by rising. You are not naive for forgiving. You are wise for protecting your peace. The Lord who saw the injustice will also author your vindication. Let your heart rest tonight. The scales of heaven never fail. You will not need to fight this battle. You will only need to watch as justice, slow but sure, walks in wearing the armor of grace. The day will come when you will understand why God said no to your revenge. It's because he was planning something greater than payback. He was planning promotion, crowned through the conflict. Chosen one. There is a mystery written into your suffering. Every wound you endured carried a crown inside it. The battle did not come to destroy you. It came to anoint you. You were forged in conflict, and through it, heaven has placed something upon your spirit that no human hand can remove. The pain was never random. The warfare was never pointless. Every struggle was a coronation in disguise. You may not have seen it then, but your tears were oil. Every breakdown, every rejection, every lonely night became the pouring of divine anointing upon your head. Heaven does not crown in comfort, it crowns in chaos. While others saw defeat, heaven saw the moment of divine selection. The battlefield became your throne room, and your scars became your royal seal. From the outside, your story looked like constant loss, but in the spirit, it was layered victory. You were learning the authority of endurance, the dignity of restraint, the strength of surrender. Each wound taught you a language of compassion. Each trial stretched your faith until it could carry the weight of destiny. You were not losing, you were being enlarged. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 2. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands. Chosen one. Your scars are your credentials. They tell heaven, this one can be trusted. The crown you wear is not ornamental, it's symbolic. It represents the victories you earned in silence, the temptations you overcame in secret, the prayers you prayed when no one was watching. Each gemstone in that unseen crown is a story of endurance. You have been crowned not for conquering others, but for conquering yourself, your fear, your anger, your need for validation. You learned to stand still when you wanted to run, to trust when you wanted to quit, to love when you wanted to hate. That is what royalty in the spirit looks like, self-mastery under divine direction. Consider this: gold only becomes radiant after it survives the furnace. The flames that surrounded you were never meant to consume you. They were meant to reveal your purity. The greater the fire, the purer the gold. Likewise, the greater the trial, the clearer your calling. Every hardship stripped away what was temporary until only the eternal remained. Look at your reflection now. Chosen one. Can you see how different you are from who you once were? The anxiety that once ruled you has become awareness. The fear that once froze you has become faith. The heartbreak that once hollowed you has become holiness. You have changed shape, not outwardly, but inwardly. That transformation is your true crown. There is a unique authority that comes only through survival. You speak differently when you have suffered. Your voice carries weight because it is woven with truth. When you say God is faithful, it's not a phrase, it's proof. Your faith was not built in comfort, but in conflict. You know the sound of heaven's silence and the warmth of its return. That knowledge cannot be taught, it can only be earned through endurance. Do not resent the battlefield that made you royal. Without it, you would not have learned how to wield peace as a weapon or love as armor. The conflict refined your heart to carry compassion instead of pride. You now understand that true kingship in the spirit is not about thrones or titles, it's about stewardship and service. You rule best when you serve most. The very things that tried to break you have become the jewels of your testimony. Betrayal polished your discernment. Delay strengthened your patience. Loss deepened your empathy. Each hardship contributed something precious to the design of your destiny. You are a walking mosaic of grace, every shattered piece shining under divine light. Chosen one, heaven did not forget your faithfulness. The crown you wear in the spirit may not glimmer in human eyes, but it carries eternal recognition. Angels know your name because of what you endured. You did not just survive, you qualified. You were crowned not because you never fell, but because you kept rising. You were chosen not because you were flawless, but because you were faithful. Every time you said yes when it hurt, heaven recorded it as worship. Every time you forgave, heaven marked it as victory. Now the wilderness fades, and the weight of the crown settles gently upon your spirit. You do not need to announce it. Those with discernment will see it. The authority you carry is quiet but undeniable. You move differently now, not from pride, but from purpose. The same hands that once trembled in prayer now carry peace for others. The same heart that once bled now beats with boldness. You are crowned through the conflict, chosen one. Wear it humbly but never hide it. The world needs to see what endurance, grace, and faithfulness look like when wrapped in human form. You are the evidence that suffering refines, not ruins, that conflict crowns, not crushes. A warrior's rise from the ashes. Chosen one, every warrior carries the scent of smoke. It's the mark of those who have walked through fire and lived to tell it. You have been burned, yes, but not consumed. What tried to destroy you only refined what could not die. You are not emerging weak and wounded. You are rising radiant and ready. The ashes around you are not evidence of defeat. They are proof of rebirth. You have walked through seasons when everything you built seemed to crumble. You lost people, positions, and even pieces of yourself along the way. It felt as though your dreams turned to dust between your fingers. But dust is not the end, it is the beginning. Remember, God formed humanity from the dust. Creation itself was born from ruin. So too will your next chapter be born from what you thought was finished. Your rise is not sudden, it is sacred. Every silent prayer, every tear, every moment you chose faith over fear has built this moment. You are standing now on holy ground, not because you were untouched by pain, but because you were transformed by it. The fire that once surrounded you now burns within you. You have become the flame, the living symbol that even ashes can glow. The Word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 3, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, a garment of praise. You must know this rise is not only for you. There are eyes watching, hearts listening, spirits weary of their own ashes. When they see your ascent, hope will awaken in them too. You are not rising alone. You are carrying many with you. Your restoration becomes their roadmap. Your victory becomes their vision. Now, if this message reaches your heart, pause for a moment and breathe. Reflect on how far you have come. You are still here not by accident, but by design. That survival is divine. And as you breathe, consider this: every act of acknowledgement, every like, every share, every comment is not just digital interaction. It is a prophetic act of gratitude. It is saying, I see the fire I've come through, and I will not hide the light it gave me. When you like this message, imagine it as adding another spark to a growing flame, a fire of faith that burns across borders, reaching those still sitting in smoke. When you share it, you extend your testimony beyond yourself. You throw a rope of hope into someone else's pit, whispering, you can rise too. And when you subscribe, it's more than staying connected. It's joining a community of warriors who understand what it means to rise from ruin. Together, we become a circle of fire souls who choose to believe, rebuild, and burn brighter with each season. If your spirit feels stirred to donate, know that it is not obligation, it is offering. Your support is not about funding words. It is about fueling transformation. Each gift becomes oil for the lamps that light others' paths. Think of it as helping rebuild spiritual homes from the ashes of despair. You are not giving to a message, you're giving through it, into the hearts that need to hear what you once needed yourself. There is beauty in generosity. It mirrors God's own nature, the Creator who gives light without depletion, who breathes life into dust without demand. When you give, when you engage, when you extend grace outward, you echo that divine rhythm. You become part of the miracle. Chosen one, your journey has not been a straight path. It has been a spiral of transformation, each turn taking you higher, even when it felt like falling. And now, at this stage of your ascent, heaven whispers. You have learned the language of the ashes. You understand now that what is destroyed in the natural can be reborn in the spirit. You are fluent in hope. The fire no longer frightens you. You walk through it with calm because you have learned it cannot burn what belongs to God. You are becoming a living sanctuary, a temple rebuilt on holy ruins. You carry both the memory of pain and the melody of praise, and that combination makes you unstoppable. So rise, chosen one, rise with quiet strength, with fierce humility, with glowing grace. You are not who you were before the fire. You are better, purer, wiser. You no longer need to explain your endurance. Your presence is explanation enough. And before you go, leave a trace of your resurrection here. Comment, I have risen. Not as pride, but as prophecy. It means you are acknowledging your survival, declaring that your story continues, affirming that the fire refined but never defeated you. Let those words echo across the unseen realms, a song of triumph sung by one who was buried but now stands tall among the living flames of faith. Your rise is heaven's testimony, and the ashes, they are just proof that you once burned brightly and will again. Divine exposure and elevation. Chosen one. When heaven decides it is time to reveal what has been hidden, no force in existence can keep the veil in place. There comes a point when truth rises like dawn, quiet at first, then unstoppable, flooding every shadow until nothing false can remain. You are entering that moment now. The season of concealment is ending. The time of exposure and elevation has begun. For too long, you have been misunderstood, overlooked, underestimated. You've watched others celebrated for what you quietly carried. You've seen imitators praised while your authenticity remained unseen. But God never forgets the hidden ones. The same hands that concealed you for protection are now unveiling you for purpose. It is written in the book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 17. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be brought to light. This is heaven's decree. The curtain is being lifted, not just around you, but within you. What was buried, your gifts, your voice, your influence is rising to the surface. The time of invisibility was not punishment, it was preparation. God often hides his treasures until the world is ready to handle their brilliance. You were hidden because your value was sacred. If you had been exposed too soon, the unprepared would have mishandled your purpose. The silence that once felt suffocating was a sanctuary, a cocoon where your spirit learned endurance, but now, the walls of that cocoon are cracking. The pressure you feel is not destruction, it's emergence. Elevation does not begin with applause, it begins with alignment. Heaven is shifting you upward, one unseen degree at a time. The same grace that protected you in obscurity is now propelling you into visibility. But this rise will be different, it will be holy. You will not need to push doors open, they will open on their own. You will not need to demand recognition. Heaven will announce your arrival through the fruit of your faithfulness. When divine exposure comes, it brings both revelation and separation. Some who walked with you will not be able to ascend with you. Their presence was essential in your hidden season, but not in your public one. Do not grieve that change. The altitude of your new level requires lighter company. Love them, bless them, but release them. Heaven is calling you higher, and the climb demands focus. Chosen one, understand this exposure does not only reveal what's good, it reveals everything. Light uncovers motives, intentions, and hidden enemies. The same illumination that spotlights your calling will expose those who worked against it. Do not be surprised when masks fall and hearts reveal themselves. This too is mercy. God exposes not to shame, but to protect. He is removing deception from your surroundings so that your ascent will not be sabotaged. You will see people for who they truly are, some as allies, others as lessons. Do not harden your heart when truth arrives. Let clarity free you. The blessing of exposure is that it prevents you from carrying false weight into your future. The friendships that fade were never built for longevity. The partnerships that dissolve were never meant to hold divine destiny. Elevation often feels lonely, but it is never empty. As certain names fall away, heaven will replace them with those destined to build beside you. Divine partnerships are already being aligned, people who will see your worth without envy, support your vision without agenda, and love you without condition. These connections will recognize your light and guard it, not compete with it. You are stepping into a space where the favor of God becomes undeniable. Not because you sought it, but because you endured long enough to carry it. There will be no need for boasting, the evidence will speak. Doors that resisted you will now recognize your name. Environments that once ignored you will invite your voice. And yet, through it all, your posture must remain humble. The purpose of elevation is not dominance, it is influence for heaven's agenda. The platform is not the reward, it is the assignment. You are being elevated so others may find hope through your story. The light upon you is not for decoration, it is direction. You are to guide those still wandering in shadows, reminding them that divine timing is never late, only precise. And while elevation brings visibility, it also demands vigilance. The higher you rise, the greater the responsibility to reflect God's character. Let integrity remain your crown and humility your throne. Never forget the wilderness that shaped you or the silence that saved you. These memories will anchor you as the wind of promotion lifts you higher. Chosen one, the season of unveiling is sacred. You have been faithful in secret, and heaven has taken notice. Now prepare your spirit. The light that once exposed your pain will soon reveal your purpose. What was hidden will be celebrated. What was mocked will be honored. What was lost will be restored in multiplied form. When God finishes what He started, chosen one, everything that began in pain will end in purpose. Every unfinished prayer, every broken promise, every tear that seemed unanswered, all of it is being gathered by the same hands that formed your destiny before the world began. Heaven does not begin what it does not intend to complete. You are standing in the final stretch of a divine process. And though it has felt long, the conclusion will be worth every moment of waiting. There were days when you wondered if God had forgotten. You saw glimpses of promise, but not the fulfillment. You tried to hold on, yet the delay tested your endurance to its limit. You thought maybe you misheard, maybe you hoped too much. But even in your doubt, God was still working. What you thought was silence was strategy. The threads that looked tangled were being woven into perfect symmetry. Heaven's design takes time, but it never falters. You are entering the season where the loose ends tie together. What didn't make sense before will soon align with clarity so divine that you will stand in awe of how intentional every detail was. The places where you once felt abandoned will become the very places of encounter. The same roads that led you through wilderness will become highways of testimony. The ancient words recorded in Romans still echo today. In the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. This is not a comforting verse, it is a contract. Every heartbreak, every delay, every closed door has been part of that all things. God wastes nothing. He recycles pain into preparation and sorrow into strength. You thought you were losing, but you were being layered with wisdom. You thought the waiting was punishment, but it was preservation. Chosen one, you are the living evidence that God finishes what he starts. Think of the moments you nearly gave up. You didn't. You're still standing. That's not coincidence, it's covenant. The same power that raised you in the valley is now calling you to stand on the mountain. You have been tempered, not just tested. You've become resilient, not merely patient. Every hardship was heaven's way of crafting a vessel that could carry glory without breaking under it. Look at the pattern of your story, how every ending made space for something better. The relationships that ended revealed your true worth. The opportunities that fell apart made room for purpose. The prayers that seemed unanswered led you to what you truly needed. God's hand has been guiding every turn, even when it felt like chaos. And now, as the circle closes, you will see that nothing was wasted. The season of confusion was groundwork for revelation. The wilderness built endurance. The silence sharpened your hearing. Every fragment you thought lost will fit perfectly into the masterpiece being revealed now. God finishes differently than the world does. The world finishes with applause. God finishes with peace. His endings carry no noise, only knowing. It will happen quietly. You'll wake one day and realize the ache has lifted, the weight is gone, the promise has arrived. You will see that the war was never about what you lost. It was about who you became. There is beauty in divine finality. When God says, "It is done," it does not mean it is over, it means it is fulfilled. You are walking into the manifestation of prayers you prayed years ago, the answers you forgot you asked for. Heaven's timing is now merging with your obedience, and the result will be breathtaking. Chosen one, rest in this truth: the God who started your story will write the final chapter himself. You do not need to force it, fix it, or fear it. What he began in your spirit, he will finish in glory. There are no abandoned callings in heaven, no forgotten promises, no wasted seasons. You are the continuation of his faithfulness. The same hand that carried you through darkness now crowns you with completion. What once broke you will now bless you. The tears that watered your prayers will now reveal their harvest. This is not the end of you. It is the unveiling of everything God intended from the beginning. You have walked through fire and come out refined. You have endured silence and discovered strength. Now peace will settle upon you like morning dew, soft, steady, undeniable. Chosen one, the work is finished, the story is whole, and through you, heaven's faithfulness will echo for generations to come. Chosen one, you have reached the end of this journey, but not the end of your story. What you have just walked through in these words was not coincidence, it was confirmation. Heaven guided you here because your spirit was ready to remember who you are: chosen, protected, refined, and unstoppable. Now pause for a moment and breathe. Let every word settle. Let every truth take root. You are not leaving this message the same way you arrived. Something in you has shifted quietly, permanently. The battles that once drained you no longer hold authority over you. The doubts that once whispered have lost their voice. You stand now as proof that what God begins, he completes, and what He calls, He sustains. If these words have awakened something within you, don't let them fade into memory, let them move through action. When you like this message, you acknowledge what heaven has already done in your life. When you share it, you become a vessel of light, sending a spark into the heart of someone else who may be standing on the edge of giving up. Take a moment to comment below. Let your words be your testimony. Maybe it's as simple as saying, "I receive this," or "I am chosen." Every word you release in faith becomes a seed heaven waters. And when you subscribe, you're not just following a voice, you're joining a movement of those who refuse to live in fear, who carry faith like fire, who are determined to rise every time life tries to bury them. Chosen one, may you go forward with peace in your spirit, purpose in your steps, and gratitude on your lips. Heaven smiles when you do. The story continues through you,